I was watching that Shaun the Sheep show last night, and honestly, I don't get it. You know, like talking sheep.
Mate, the sheep don't talk.
What do you mean they don't talk?
What are you talking about?
What was I watching last night?
No.
Hey fellas,
Who is he talking to?
it's Christmas again. You know, the time of year where... Man, Christmas is too difficult to summarize. Just get to the main point.
Who is he talking to?
Gifts! What's the point in celebrating Christmas if I don't get to unwrap a box?
Getting together with people?
Shut up.
Well, Lucas, if you're so admin on gifts, where are they?
We were doing Secret Santa.
Whoa, what?
Oh my god, don't tell me neither of you brought gifts.
I didn't.
You've got to be kidding. Santa Claus, surely you brought something. Your name is in the tradition.
What's Secret Santa?
Are you even Santa Claus?
Who is Santa Claus?
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. All right, I've got you, you've got me, he's got you. 1 minute, go.
Mate, you just defeated the point of Secret Santa.
You didn't even know what it was a minute ago.
Alright, boys. Let's see what we've got.
Here you go, I got you, Mr. Skeleton.
Oh my god, you found my bones!
Wait, Mr. Skeleton?
Yeah, who do you think I was this entire time?
I don't know, you just seem nice, so I thought I'd let you in.
How thoughtful of you. Anyways, here's my gift.
A gun?
I thought it'd be useful.
Yeah. Alright. Anyway, Lucas. Here's your gift.
This is just my phone.
Yeah, but it's got Christmas with Weezer on.
What did I do to you? Alright, we're talking about these guys again. Why? Because what else am I gonna do for Christmas? Weezer is a staple of me whining needlessly on hand. Come on, I'm me. Yet as Christmas comes around the corner, the amount of Weezer-related things I can talk about are... surprisingly not that limited. Weezer really seems to like Christmas and aren't afraid to show this in a lot of their releases. There was the Christmas CD released in 2000 featuring 2 original Christmas songs, the song December is the closing track of Maladroit with lyrics that vaguely hint at Christmas, and even a cover of Marie Curie on the Japanese version of the Red album. Suffice to say, Weezer seems to enjoy Christmas, and nowhere is that more apparent than on the 2008 release, Christmas with Weezer. What an anomaly. I think it says a lot that when you search the CP on Wikipedia, the first question to pop up is why did Weezer make a Christmas album? And even then it gives you answers for a completely different EP. It's one of those pieces of Weezer's discography that I don't really see mentioned that much, you know, alongside all the other overlooked releases like Maladroit, Make Believe, the Red album. And I mean, I definitely see why. It was originally only released on iTunes before being put on streaming services a good while later, alongside a very limited CD release in Japan. It took 14 years for that last one to happen. On top of that, it's an EP of 6 Christmas covers. There's really not that much to look into with this one. But I won't let that stand, I'm Lucas! I'm a Weezer fan! So let's take a look at Christmas with Weezer, going over its history, its songs, and... well, why it exists, really. But to get to that, we need some historical context. I think we all know how Weezer started off. They formed in the early 90s, made 2 good albums, then everything exploded. Upon release in 1996, Pinkerton was trashed by reviews, which really got to Rivers. This was an exploration of his dark side, an ultimate release of emotion, yet it was quickly written off by reviews as being cheesy and cheap. So reasonably, the band took a step back before coming back 5 years later by completely switching their musical style and releasing the Green album, and it was received... well, it sure was received. A riffier Green album happened, and then they went pop. And I don't mean pop like Island in the Sun pop, I mean pop as in what the hell happened here pop. Make Believe was Weezer's first bad album. Every album before it had received criticism, but Make Believe was universally considered to be pretty poor. And you know, after listening to it 10 times, I can confirm it's not very good. There's sprinkles of greatness in here, and then there's just an absolute heap of Beverly Hills. And so began Weezer's Has-Been stage, where they were considered cool in the 90s, and then everything else just happened. That's not to say there weren't highlights. Their next release, the Red album, was decent. Ratitude wasn't. But you see, right between a half-decent album and a not-so-much half-decent album was Christmas with Weezer. Yeah, this just kinda happened. I wish I had more to say. It just exists. I've looked through a lot of sources on this thing, but none of them really give me much in its history. But I will give you what I do know. Which is also just what Weezerpedia knows. The whole thing came about during the sessions for Attitude, so you know we're off to a great start. The songs were never actually originally intended to be released as an EP, instead they were made for a game by Tapulous.
Well, I want to play with Weezer.
No you don't. You know Tapulous, right? No you don't. Yeah, nowadays you might know them for not existing, but back then they were the creators of the Tap Tap Revenge franchise. These were akin to a lot of rhythm games at the time, like Guitar Hero or Rock Band, except they were for mobile devices. You tap when notes came up, and music would happen. Yeah, the drummer of the band, Pat Wilson, had an iPhone and thought this would be a fun idea, so he got in contact with Tapulous, and Christmas with Weezer the video game happened. Announced on December 3rd as part of Carl Kirk's Carl's Corner, the game released on December 5th of 2008, featuring 6 Christmas covers and 2 songs from the Red album, being Pork and Beans and The Greatest Man That Ever Lived. This thing isn't really possible to get nowadays, but there is a decent amount to talk about, so we'll circle back to it later. But until then, let's move back to the EP itself. According to Weezerpedia, it was fan outcry that led to these songs being released outside of the game. I refuse to believe that fans wanted these covers that desperately. Well, regardless of whether it was fan outcry or the band getting bored one day, Christmas with Weezer was released on December 16th exclusively on iTunes, where it stayed for a concerningly long amount of time. I don't think that's the only odd thing about Christmas with Weezer. I mean, it's Christmas with Weezer. But on top of that, the recording process for this thing was very weird. Unlike most albums which would have the whole band in the studio together, this one had them separately for a lot of it. All the songs were recorded and mixed by Pat, meaning he did all the instruments and mixed the album. This is of course with the exception of bass, which was recorded by Scott Schreiner. I don't know, I mean I think it turned out fine, but it's not like he's done anything like this since the release of the EP, nor before it. And then the vocals were recorded by Rivers completely separately. There is actually a bit of contention on the mixing end, with Ken Sluter claiming he'd done all the mixing and production on the album. And I mean, that could be true, but who would you trust here? The answer is neither. Interestingly enough, Brian Bell was completely absent from the original sessions for these songs, but no need to worry because he returned for the EP re-release to provide vocal harmonies. Thank God. So yeah, overall, very weird recording sessions. 3 of the members recorded their bits completely separately, and the 4th one forgot to wake up that morning. Okay, so you move over there, you move over there.
What's the point of this?
To demonstrate how Christmas with Weezer was recorded.
Why do we need to demonstrate if you just explain it?
Well, that's everything I could find on Christmas with Weezer. Let's get into the songs themselves. Look, I want to do proper reviews of these songs, but they're Christmas covers. What am I supposed to add here?
Alright, we're gonna listen to the damn album or what?
Do you really want to?
If it gets us out of here quicker, yes mate.
Alright then, let's get into it with We Wish You a Merry Christmas.
That's my favorite song.
You do realize it's the Weezer version, right? It's a pretty solid cover and definitely a unique one, starting off with this calm guitar line before launching into this heavy cover of We Wish You a Merry Christmas. It's a lot more fast-paced than the original version of the song, which works, but it doesn't really evoke the same energy. It doesn't help that River sounds really dejected throughout the entire song. He's putting on this very deep voice, but it just doesn't work. Lyrics-wise, it's We Wish You a Merry Christmas. You've heard it, you know it, Merry Christmas. If anything, like I said before, I think the instrumentation is really cool and it offers a unique version of the song. It's definitely not my preferred version of the song, but it is a version of the song. This is actually the only song from the EP that they've ever performed live. I don't know, I thought that would be worth noting.
Quite a fascinating song.
I know, right?
Not as fascinating in the good way though.
Yeah, no, I know. Let's move on to the next one.
There's more.
Oh, come ye all faithful!
Is that a command?
This is a fun little editor's note. Lucas just called the song Oh Come Ye All Faithful. The song's name is Oh Come All Ye Faithful. How is it this difficult to say the name of a song, Lucas? This is our second song in the EP, a bit longer than the first one, and again, it's definitely a song. This one is just a bit all over the place. I think River's vocals on this one are actually really solid. He puts a lot of passion into it, especially in the second half. But the mixing, man, everything is all over the place. The guitars are way too quiet and the drums are way too loud. They almost sound artificial. I'm sorry if it's a bit harsh, but this honestly just comes off as a lot of noise with River singing over it. It's not awful, but that's by Weezer standards, so you know, take that as you will. Interestingly, the song was actually re-released in 2009 on the JDRF's Hope for the Holidays compilation album, which was benefiting the Junior Diabetes Research Foundation. You know, that might just be the only good thing that Weezer's ever done. Alright, only 4 more songs to go. They're all the damn same. We move on to Oh Holy Night. This is the longest song on the EP by a wide margin, being a whole 4 minutes and 4 seconds. I think this is the first track where everything is really balanced. The drums aren't too loud, the guitars aren't too quiet, and River's vocals just really add on top of that. He hits and holds some really great notes, although this does probably bring up the only production issue in the song. I feel like he gets a bit quiet in these moments. Or maybe Rivers just couldn't sing that loud. I don't know, I think it's a pretty good cover. But again, Weezer standards. The first Noel is another damn Christmas cover. What do you want from me? It is a solid cover though, with the mixing and production again being pretty good. Rivers isn't doing anything crazy with his voice here, but he maintains it decently well. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this guitar solo. This might actually be the highlight of the EP. It's crunchy, it's consistent, and it brings something very unique to the song. I enjoy this, and it gives me a reason to listen to this as opposed to the original version. Again, I don't think it's the best version of the song. My personal favorite is the Frank Sinatra cover, but I still think it's decent. Hey, what happened to John?
I'm pretty sure he's just sleeping.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead. It's now that I would like to issue a formal apology for repeating myself for the past 4 songs. It's very difficult to say something about covers of Christmas songs, especially Weezer covers. Hark! Exclamation mark, the herald angels sing. I don't like this one. I think the little intro is really cool with this really crunchy, heavy guitar, and then it just turns into an intro for a children's cartoon. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. It's a Christmas song, not Pinkerton, but it just feels so corporate. It's also another one where the mixing feels a bit off. Not as much as Oh Come All Ye Faithful, but the drums are again way too loud. I think River's vocals are fine. That's all I've got. Silent Night closes the EP, and honestly, I think it's a pretty fitting closer. It's nothing grand or epic, it's just a nice, quiet way to end the EP, which is all I've wanted it to do for the past 10 minutes. For the love of God, end already. We're back to decent mixing and production, and decent Rivers vocals, and decent guitars. This whole thing is just the embodiment of okay. I feel like I'm contradicting myself a lot here. It's a good way to end the EP, but the standard wasn't really that high. Rivers does hold some really great notes here though, and they stick out to me as moments of genuine passion. And it's as Rivers' vocals and this organ slowly fade out into silence that I celebrate that this thing is finally over. Merry Christmas, Weezer! This is such a nothing EP. I remember listening to it for the first time last year and it felt like it went on forever. It's not really bad by any means, it's just really boring. There are good moments on here. Like I said, the production and mixing are decent across most of the songs. I enjoy the crunchy guitars when they work, and Rivers' vocals as well, when they work. But that's the thing, while they work individually at some points, it's very rare that they work in tandem with one another. It just makes this whole thing feel really slow and dull, almost corporate. Which, it's a Christmas album, very few there sound like they're coming from a place of passion. But with Weezer, especially in this stage, I don't know what I expected. They went on to release Ratitude after this. Ratitude. So if you're looking to be miserable this Christmas, listen to Pinkerton. If you want to have fun this Christmas, listen to the Blue Album. No matter what emotion you're feeling, I don't think this is really worth a listen. Unless you really like Weezer and get bored. I mean, like, who doesn't have 13 minutes to spare?
Is it over yet?
Yeah!
Thank the Lord himself.
There's still the video game, though. Yeah, I promised I'd circle back around to this one, and honestly, I'm kind of regretting it now. Weezer's definitely no stranger to doing weird interactive stuff like this. The last one I remember is the human record play, where you'd pick up your phone, spin around, and then the song Records would play. Yeah, interesting experience. And of course, they're no stranger to video games either. They featured in Fortnite, Wavebreak, and they've even had a few video games themselves. Of course, there's this, but then there's also the end of the game web game, and I guess Weasel counts? I already gave a history on this one earlier, so let's dive right into Christmas with Weezer the game. It isn't available for purchase anymore. Yeah, when Tapulous went defunct in 2014, all their games got taken off digital storefronts. Doesn't help that this thing hasn't been compatible with anything since iOS 6. Now, I'm not gonna buy an old iPhone that has been updated in years to play a game about Weezer. And look, I tampered with it a bit, trying to convert the IPA to an APK, downgrade my iOS, but nothing really worked. So unfortunately, I can't play Christmas with Weezer the game, but you get a decent idea of how it would have played based on footage online, which there is surprisingly little of. Looking at the footage, just like the EP itself, I don't have much to say about this game. You tap buttons, shake your phone, and Weezer music plays. Woo! While it looks like a decent time, if I had the option, I'd probably just play like Guitar Hero or something. That's not to say there isn't anything interesting about it. If you play through the main 6 Christmas songs, you unlock Pork and Beans and The Greatest Man That Ever Lived, like I said before. And, they're more Weezer songs that you tap your screen and shake your phone for. Woo! The most interesting is probably the bonus tidbits you unlock when you play through everything. Not much of it is interesting with the exception of this video here.
Congratulations. You just beat the game Christmas with Weezer. Here's a treat just for you.
Yeah, that's Weezer for you. So to sum it up, it's a video game about Weezer. Take that as you will. Christmas with Weezer, both the game and the EP, are an anomaly. It just sort of happened, no one in the band ever talks about it, and it serves as a very interesting bridge between the Red Album and Ratitude. That's not to say it's awful, it's just really weird.
Amongst shenanigans thus far encountered along this diverse path of ours, have we even managed to divulge the true meaning of why Christmas with Weezer even truly exists?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll ask Bath Ghost.
The be Bath Ghost?
It's tacky anyways.
Go away.
It's my bathroom. What is this place?
We already decorated, what do you think?
Oh man, this place looks completely different. I'm gonna be taking shits like a new man.
Hey now, not with me, man.
You're living in my bath for free.
I can't be living here if I'm dead.
Look, the least you could do is answer my questions.
Then hit me with it.
Why does Christmas with Weezer exist? Yeah, he had nothing. But after doing a bit of digging on Weezerpedia, I found the answers. Why Christmas with Weezer exists. Rivers himself said he liked the songs and just wanted to do covers of them, which is really the reason any covers exist, so I'm not shocked, but it's nice to have concrete answers. The band was bored and just wanted to have some fun with songs they liked, and I can't blame them for wanting to have a bit of fun around the holidays. They deserve this after the Red Album. Well, that was Christmas with Weezer. Truly one of the albums of all time.
But is it the video game of all time?
Hell yeah, it is. It's a strange release, but it's very in character for Weezer, and if nothing else, it brought up some of us closer together.
You know what, Lucas? I can't argue with that logic. Merry Christmas, my good friend.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
Who the f is Santa, mate?
What a Christmas. What did I even do again? Oh yeah. You know, amongst all of this, we managed to figure out why I talked about Christmas with Weezer, why it exists, but we never figured out why I talked about it for almost 15 minutes. But luckily, I have a gift here from Mr. Dictionary that apparently answers everything. A dictionary. Wow. Turn to page 138. Celibacy. Yeah, that checks out.